Maybe we're not recording. Sorry, give me one more second, gang. Oh, the recording button is now on the
It's
right
there.
hand side. Zoom, you've betrayed me once again. Cool. Welcome to the Coaches Connect call. We're really late in the game on this one. We've had some fantastic conversation. Many coaches have offered insight and asked fantastic questions. We're going to focus on just one for a very brief call today. Uh, we'll pretend like this is the one that we set up for people going on vacation. This is our webisode. Uh, and Mona, I'm going to focus on your question if that's okay. And I believe I'm just going to read it from the chat box. Or actually, I'll let you state it if you're okay with that.
No, it's okay if you read it. It's okay.
Sure. I can give some background for folks who are watching this later as well.
Yes, of
We were
course.
having conversations regarding setting up your business and also having folks share more details with you, specifically if they have challenges generating conversation within the coaching session to the point where it's like it becomes uh, uncomfortable for people to want to engage in coaching sessions. So Mona asked the question, should clients share everything about their life? What if I know all their problems? Can we take on the role of a psychologist? Which is a great question regarding scope. And sometimes people pull away because they feel embarrassed or uncomfortable afterwards. So we touched on some of those elements. Uh, and I'm curious, so I'm going to toss it back to you, Mona. What do you think about the first question? Should clients share everything about their life?
It would be helpful for me to prepare his plan, action plan. Yeah, would be helpful from the point of view of how do you call it, the whole whole
Holistic.
holistic. Yeah. Yeah, would be helpful. Yes. It might be. I also know psychologists that they break down. Also, they have also problem after working with so many people that have problems, or children and so on. They also break down. They cannot anymore. You take too much.
So I'll pause you here
You have to
before kind
be
of.
you have to be strong enough not to empathize, but not sympathize. I don't know that. Yeah, there is a difference between these two things. But just to protect you, also like a coach, you have to protect yourself. You cannot take all the problems of everybody on your shoulders because it's too much.
So I'll pause you here for 1 second and we can go through those first two questions. So, should I know everything about my clients? The answer is probably it's less of a should and is it valuable? So some clients are going to be really, really eager to share all the things, and some are going to be more reserved. I always think of it from the perspective of the more information you share with me, the more uniquely crafted your plan can be for you. So if I have limited information, then we can still come up with a plan, but it may miss some of the nuance of your life. And that's perfectly fine because then we'll update the plan as we go. I don't need to know everything about someone on day one in order to start coaching them. I need to know just enough about kind of like what are some of the surface level problems, and we'll work our way through the deeper stuff as we build the relationship. It's also important to understand that as a coach, as a nutrition coach specifically, people have an expectation of what we deliver, and we have the opportunity to start to kind of break down those ideas as we work with them. But it really requires a lot of social cachet before we can really convince them that it's like, oh, this is a safe place to share things. As much as like Seathel mentioned early in our call, it's like as much as we can tell people like, oh, don't stress, I can also tell people it's like, yeah, this is a safe space for you to share information. But it really takes a while for people to understand that because one, we are not psychologists. There's not the expectation that you share like your traumatic history with me. Also, in my scope of practice as a nutrition coach, I'm typically not asking for specific traumas to be unveiled, and definitely not early in the coaching conversation. If someone wants to share those things with me, so this kind of gets to the second half of your question. sometimes people pull away or feel embarrassed or uncomfortable afterwards. Uh, that's where allowing them to have the space to share those things is incredibly valuable and useful, but it is not a strong expectation. Share what you think is valuable to the path ahead with your coach, but if there are certain things where it's like, this is not the time right now, and this may never be the time to have this conversation, we respect that boundary. And then if they do share something that you feel like, whoa, that's significant in terms of our relationship and a milestone in our relationship, it's worth it taking a second and pausing either in that conversation or later on to let them know, hey, that thing that you shared with me was very brave. I appreciate you sharing it with me. It affirms our relationship. Please feel free to confide in me with that level of trust. This stays between you and I. If now they're sharing things with you where it's like, whoa, this is way beyond my pay grade. I am not your psychologist. I'm not a trauma informed therapist. I can't deal with these things. It is also up to us to say, thank you for sharing that with me. But I don't have the resources to help you process those things. I would love to have a conversation about what are available resources to you, and I can help you with making decisions on that front. But those are likely conversations that are outside of my skill set. And this also takes into account that we ourselves, as I mentioned before, are flawed humans coaching flawed humans. Someone may share something with a coach that actually triggers their own past. And like you were saying, like therapists, psychologists, coaches can become overburdened through a phenomenon that we refer to as typically like emotional burnout, where these conversations are super heavy and I feel underprepared to deal with them because either I don't have the professional designation for it, or I myself don't have the support in my network to help deal with these things. So half of that equation, like I can probably get some work or I can get assistance. Like I can hire a coach for myself. I can work with a psychologist. I can find outlets to help process these things in healthy ways. But you are under no obligation to do those things as a nutrition coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think it's good to have this conversation because my style is to make the person feel comfortable, and then they tell me
Mhm.
everything. They tell me about their lives, the friends, and so on and so on. And then the second meeting or the third meeting, they don't feel comfortable because I know everything about them. It's
Mhm.
like not really a good strategy, I would say. Not always a good strategy. Yeah.
Fair. One thing that took me a long time to learn as a coach was, uh, especially with clients who are more talkative, more verbose, like let's call them oversharers. It can be challenging to feel like you're absorbing what they're saying. It's just like drinking from a fire hose at some point, and they're just like going and going and going, and you're just being buried alive there. Like this is so much, and this is so heavy that I don't know what to do with this. Just ask them to say, "Hey, do you mind if we pause for 1 second?" And then you collect yourself, or you can redirect. So, hey, let's pause for 1 second. I'm gonna affirm what you said. Uh, in terms of the work that we're doing for today, that is either super valuable or I'm glad that you shared it with me, but here's an alternative that path that I would like to follow because either time, because I don't feel super comfortable with this, because uh, I'm just not the professional for you to have those conversations. So understanding where it's like I gotta interject here and just make it so that we have some balance in this conversation.
Yeah, when it's a person that has already a trauma history behind, they could perceive this stop like being rejected, or
Yeah, 100%. It can sometimes feel like a reprimand, and that's
yeah,
where the follow-up communication comes
yeah,
in to be like, this is not a rebuke of you or your past. it is more so acknowledging that what we've come to do here may not align with that super well, nor am I the professional to really help you with unpacking those things. And
Mhm.
that's okay. It's like I'm glad that you're comfortable and you feel safe to share those things with me. That says a lot about our relationship. But I don't have the tools to help you with those problems. And if that's the service that you're looking for, then I'm happy to find or help you find another
Mhm.
professional. And we can still work together on other things. That's just kind of not what I work on.
Mhm. Maybe it's just would be better for somebody like me, for example, like a beginner, to establish from the beginning of
Mhm.
the meeting why we meet and which are our
Yep.
goals, why he comes to me or she comes to me, and what we talk about nutrition, about this, but not so much private details.
Yeah, I mean, if you're noticing that there's like a really specific pattern where it's like all of my clients come to me and just trauma dump all over me, and I just ask them, hey, what does your 7-day food log look like? Then there may be some initial expectation setting there that would benefit you uh, in terms of being better established, where it's like, okay, this is more in line with the work that I'm capable and want to do, as opposed to kind of who I'm currently attracting. So if that's something you're noticing, then it may be worthwhile to kind of establish that early in the conversation so that it stays more within the boundaries of what you're comfortable with and what you're capable of helping people with.
And because my target clients would have been, I was thinking of the families with autistic children,
Mhm.
and there is a lot of pressure. But I started more from the science point of view, and then I came here to the coaching, and
Mhm.
I have more science background as coaching, you know. And now,
Right.
while I was doing this coaching course, I kind of felt a little bit scared. I was thinking I will be able to manage this
Mhm.
because working with the athletes or with the people that want to lose some weight and make sport, it's kind of different. Like working with parents and families with autistic children, and yeah,
Mhm.
this was my
Yeah, I
background.
mean, it's certainly a unique niche within the like health coaching space. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
glad to see that there are certainly people who are reaching out to you, and that sounds like these are people who can certainly use your support. Uh, Creating a little bit more of a framework in terms of letting them know, hey, this is kind of the work that I do may be valuable. So that can be part of kind of your social message, what you share on your website, client testimonials for people who you feel like, okay, this is the boundary of what it would look like. Even if that, I'm not saying to lie and like create clients, but you can share a demonstration of like, this is the type of scenario that I encounter or that I can encounter in the work that I do. If this sounds like you, then feel free to reach out to me. And that gives people an idea, again, of what it would be like to work with you without actually having to work with you. And as I
Mhm.
said before, it's like the term nutrition coach or nutritionist or like exercise coach or personal trainer, there's a really strong understood narrative of what it is to work with those people. Typically, it's a guy holding a clipboard with a whistle and yelling at you for 60 minutes, and like that's what we're paying for. Uh, in your world, it sounds like the people are very much like looking for emotional support, and you may need to blend some of that message. Like maybe you're capable of some of that work, but you need to blend that message with here are some of the strategies that we're going to work on as well. And we need to leave room for those conversations so that I can help you in the way that is most appropriate to me.
Mhm. Anyway, I didn't start a job. I just I did a lot of training, let's say, but I will need a coach by myself because I need some in this area.
Right.
I'm not good at.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you're incredibly knowledgeable in this area, but holding the coaching conversations with these caregivers is maybe opening up some avenues where you need a little bit of a stronger framework to
I
help
need,
guide them.
I need, definitely I need. Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
I
thank you very
mean,
much.
hopefully coming to these calls gives you some of that framework. And you can learn from other coaches here about how to manage those conversations to get to the effective outcomes you're looking for.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Hope to see you again next week. Uh, we're going to call it there, folks. I know this is a shorter video with would probably benefit from some editing, but I'm not going to edit this one. Uh, and we hope to see you again in the next call. Take care, gang.